So let's talk about functions real quick. Functions are sometimes referred to as methods, but in this world we're going to call them functions. So what is a function? I've mentioned this before, but I'll explain it again. Functions are a set of steps that have been assigned a name. That's the short version. Basically, an algorithm that is named. And an algorithm is a set of steps. So let's do just a very, very basic example of a function. First, we have to create it. So we're going to define it, def, and give it some sort of name. We could say function name. I'm just trying to give you the syntax of it right now. So you say the function name, parentheses, colon, action. I'll just say hashtag actions. And that's just the syntax of it, and it's that easy to do. If you want to make a function with parameters, which we will talk about a little more in a second, all you do is you add the parameter, you add a variable name, something here to say, I'm going to accept stuff. Function param, accept stuff here, action, n. Don't worry about it too much right now. I'm just trying to give you the basic syntax. So let's do a super basic example of a function. All it does is it prints something that I want it to print. So I'm just going to say define function, because I want to, even though it's not relevant to what I'm doing. Parentheses, colon, print. This is a function result. When I run it, nothing happens because I did not call it. You have to call functions. How do you do that? You just type their function name without saying define in front of it, otherwise you are creating a new one. So I run it, and that's the very, very basics of how you create and call a function. So now let's make one where it prints something that we sent, or something that we passed as a parameter. This is how we do a function with a parameter. So I'm actually going to just copy this and paste it over it. And I'm going to say print parameter, comma, n. So I'm going to say it'll print this, and then whatever we pass through the function. We run it, nothing happens because we did not call it. We call it by saying function param, and because this one accepts parameters, we know it accepts parameters because there's something in between the parentheses in the definition of the function. So we can put parameters here, and I'm going to have it say, yay. I need to put that in quotes. Yay! Run it. It says parameter, yay! If you don't understand how that worked, I called the function param, and I passed this parameter, I passed this information, and it went up to where it was defined. So it knows how to handle it. So it knows what to do. It's like if I said, go do this assignment, and you went back and you looked at your assignment instructions to know how to do it. So it goes back up to the definition of the function and sees, okay, here is my temporary parameter name. It goes inside the function, says I'm supposed to print parameter, comma, it says I'm supposed to print parameter, whatever parameter I was passed. Which was, yay! It's not that bad once you get some practice with it. Let's do one more example where you are having to return something, which is not required all the time when doing a function, but it is definitely something you need to know. So, let's first define a function, and I'm actually just going to grab this guy and basically do exactly what I have down here that's ready to go. So I'm going to define function return, and I made my parameter temporary name, my placeholder, you could say x, colon, hit enter, and type return x plus x, which says whatever I am sent, add it to itself, and send it back where it came from. I could actually call this function add, which would make more sense. Sometimes people call functions like f add or something like that. I could just call this add, honestly. So I could say my function called add takes a parameter, adds it to itself, and then returns it. Which could also be double, or whatever I decided to call it. So, down here, I'm going to call the function double, and say I want to double the number 5, and I run it, nothing happens. Oh, it's because I didn't say print or anything. So maybe sometimes you don't want to print it out and you just want to use it, do some sort of calculation on it, and then do something else with it after that and not print it until the very end. So say we're at the very end, we've done all our stuff, and we're going to say print the result of this function. So we pass in the number 5, goes over here, number 5, goes down here, says 5 plus 5, adds it up, you get 10, it returns it, goes back down here, print the returned answer of this, which is 10. If you get rid of the return and you run it, nothing happens because you didn't give it anything to do. It just did stuff and it was like, I don't know what to do with this. Print what? It doesn't know what to print, so you have to return it. So it knows what it is that you're wanting to print. So it knows what it is you're wanting to use.